Good afternoon and welcome to the mini bag reveal. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We'll wait for a couple of people to get in and we will release these coins from their bond. Coin Vault, welcome. Welcome to the show. Been in here a long time. The bag is stained where the lead seal is. I'm going to start working on this right now. Seth guy, all right. Hopefully we got nice coins in here. I've opened 3 of these bags in the past and 2 were nice and 1 was not nice. John Murch, Joe McBride, welcome. There, we got it free. There is the lead seal. Let's see what we got in there. They look okay. So we are going to dump this pile out. We will start with that many. And how we're going to do this, we're just looking at the obverse, is I'm going to draw a name tag, and on the back of the name tag we'll have a number of how many coins that person is to get. And I will do all of them, put them in a plastic bag to be ready to be shipped, unless we have a die variety. Then I will tag that and we will mark it accordingly. So we will go ahead. This is the first one of these I've done. Go ahead and get things started. And it is Paul Hampton, and he has 3. So I've got, these are the inserts, and there'll be 2 coins in each insert. And we will see what we have. Coins look pretty good. We do have the master die doubling, so we have a chance. So it's going to be a long show. We've got over 200 entries to look at. There are different types of double dies. We have bar L's. We have, of course, the big class ones. There's Paul's first. This is no master die doubling. Dan, welcome. Joseph, welcome to the show. And another with the master die doubling. Hope everybody's day is going well. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but my pool filter blew up and I had to deal with warranty claims almost all day. Getting ready for cool weather again today. Matter of fact, we might have the first snowfall in Florida since 1989. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're not super gems, but they're not real bad either, Otis. And welcome. So that is Paul's coins. Let me get a bag. Richard Sappington, welcome. -20. Ouch. And then I'll put his name tag in here. Seal the bag. And in the box. And our next is for Richard. Welcome. And he gets 5. What's everybody thinking about the drop in silver today? Didn't affect me really. Oh, nice, Joseph. Congratulations. A job's a job. Number 2. Some of these will have like little tails on the 2, and then we even have some bar L's. So we've had one without the master die doubling, and every other coin has had the master die doubling. But I see a lot of people on Facebook thinking the sky is falling in the silver market. I do believe this was a needed correction. I don't pretend to be an expert. But it was unsustainable rising as fast as it was rising. And to put it in perspective, it is still higher than it was higher than it was 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, it's not terrible. And it not like anybody was really buying and... I mean, I'm sure there were people buying and selling still. But like almost every dealer in my area was not even buying. So it wasn't like they were losing out on their sale. No, you know what? I have my theory on this, Dirty Water. I think that it was a short sale margin call that caused it. A very large one. You know, in contract silver. I mean, when silver rises that much, when you buy and sell paper contract silver, hurry up, get in here. You buy it at spot and sell it at spot unless you're taking a short sale position. So there's a lot of variables into it, but I think that it was, you know, when you have a margin call and the person cannot meet their margin call, what happens is the computer automatically starts selling. And the computer doesn't care how much money it gets. It just sells, and it sells your stuff until it gets the margin, until it covers your costs. So if it puts it up and it says, we want $120 for it, and nobody bites, and they can't sell it, in a time frame, it will go down, and eventually it gets down to a point where somebody says, "Oh, well, I'll buy it for that," and fulfills the contract. Frostbite, welcome. So me personally, I'm not worried about it. Let's see how many we got. 5, 4 for Richard. This is Richard's last one. And I think you'll start seeing it. Matter of fact, it's already started to creep back up at the end of the day. I think it went down to $78. And the last time I looked, it was up at $84.40. So it's working its way back up. I think it'll start creeping back up. But going up $10, $12 every day is just not sustainable. From the buyers, the sellers, the wholesalers, everybody, even the contract people. That's right. We're going to be talking about this on Frostbite Show tomorrow. I think he might have a couple of special guests coming. Next one up is the Coin Vault. He's in for one. Settled at 85. Yeah, it was going up at the end of the day, which kind of reinforces my opinion. Looks like we got a little struck through right there. That it was a margin call or a computer selling. But that's pure speculation. Anthony, welcome. Next up is Frank McCain. He's got 5. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to do this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put that there. That way I know. But yeah, my wife, she's kind of panicking about snow. They say we could get 1/4 of an inch here. We don't have to go out anywhere, so I actually don't care. All my tropical plants are long dead from the cold that we've had. Something that has never happened in the 11 years I've lived here. We'll be doing a reveal tomorrow, probably 2 reveals tomorrow. So look forward to that, but I will do at least one. I might have to reschedule the second one. It really depends on, I'm waiting on a delivery, and it's something that's kind of time important with time. Mickey, welcome. Are you back home or are you still at Chuck's house? At home. All right, cool. Yeah, but I'm not in Upper Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida. It is I've gotten frost. Just put it this way. The frost we got 2 days last week was total frost. The whole ground was covered. The roofs were covered. The plants were covered. We have never had frost since I've lived here like that. The lowest I can ever remember it even getting was like 36. And we've been 33, 27, 28. And the last time this weather pattern happened was actually 1989. And it's not just the weather pattern for Florida. Iowa, in the upper Midwest, Minnesota, they got pummeled with cold air. And this is Frank's 5th. And I can say that it's cold. All my bananas are down to the ground. The only thing that hasn't died yet, and I'm surprised, is my orchids. They seem to be getting enough shelter in the tree that they're in that they haven't died yet. But if it snows, I'm sure they're goners. And one could say, why don't you go out and bring them in? I'm too lazy. And there's too many of them. Nana, welcome. Put the name tag in. And our next is for Carrie, and she gets 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is one of the dies that does not have the master die doubling. That is the second one we've seen. But yeah, I can only imagine how cold it's going to get up in the Northeast, and I think you guys are supposed to get pummeled with snow again. Boy, I tried getting some coins yesterday, and they went for the most ridiculous amount of money I have ever seen. A dealer I know that used to just send me coins says, I got these up for auction. And I called him afterwards, and I says, that's too rich for my blood. And he says, well, now you know why I haven't been sending them to you. I says, well, when it breaks off and calms down, I'll be here. He says, I know. But he had a nice collection of early wheat rolls. And they went for ridiculous money. 50 rolls of 56P, D, 57P, D, 58 P and D went for $900 and something. That's like almost double retail. The rolls I were looking for were the 1940s rolls, and he had 2 boxes of them, and both of them went for over $12,000. Jules, welcome to the show. Seen that die a lot. I've actually seen that die in lots of rolls, period. It is what it is. You know, I get it. Sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do in life. That is for sure. I have been working on getting rid of stuff myself, or trying to get rid of stuff or sell it. And I'm having a real hard time doing it. funny to hear, but it actually causes me physical pain when I mail something out that I sell. I have sold probably 20 coins on Facebook in the last couple weeks. And every time I mail them, it hurts. But when I do this, it don't hurt. I don't understand it. Because this is like I get to do what I like to do. So it's maybe a fear of missing out thing that I sell them when I don't search them, or I feel like the coin is a reward. I'm not sure what it is. 7,500 pennies. That's a bag hit right there. Hopefully you looked at them first, Dan. I'm sure you did. I have been searching a few coins. I think, like Mickey, I went to the coin show and it kind of energized me into wanting to search through coins and identify coins that I have in tubes and stuff like that. So I've actually been doing a lot of that. A lot of the stuff I've actually listed is stuff that I've just found, like literally in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, me too, Mickey. I mean, not that I wasn't fired up before. I just wasn't searching stuff, and that gave me a little time to look at coins for myself and not for other people. And it was really entertaining to me. Carrie's final coin. So far, we have nothing. Yeah, we have found no die varieties, Michael. And that is Carrie's. So let me bag her coins up. All right, next up, Tim Weber. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to wet my whistle here real quick. Well, the way mint sets went up in price on the mint site, mint sets might be a good deal. Because you can get a lot of the 70s and 80s mint sets pretty cheap because they made millions of them. Oh yeah, what did you find? Mo Hunt Silver? Did you find anything good? I might do a reveal on a nickel roll here soon. 75 high D. All right. Yeah, I have had this bag. Plus, I had a bunch of others. I wish I had the other. There was another $10 bag and 2 more of the $5 bags. And I actually found 1 DO3 in the $5 bag. And we'll throw that in the copper bin. That's got some chunky stuff on it. Most of the coins do have the master die doubling. That 75 high D nickel is kind of a rare coin because technically it is not anything that was a malfunction or anything at the time of manufacture or making the die. It was just where they placed the mint mark, where it wasn't normally placed. But like it's just kind of cool. It's one of those coins that gets its value because people find it to be very neat or cool. How do I tell a real double die? Well, it depends what class. But this is technically is technically a real double die, but it's a master double. So it doesn't have any premium value. But there are tons of nice 72 double dies. The story I've heard about this is there was some aligning pin they had a problem with, and instead of actually fixing it, they kind of cut it off, and it allowed for a bunch of dies to be made with class 1 rotation. Don't know how true it is. It's just a story that you hear among collectors over time. It's kind of like the story of the 95 double dies. There's rumors that the mint was ordered the die shops to make them on purpose. But there's no real proof of it. It's just an assumption. And supposedly somebody heard that from a mint employee. This has kind of got that pitting. You see this a lot on 1971. It's like premature die failure. There is there's DDOs. I don't know how many DDRs there are in the 70 mint sets. I'm not familiar with a whole lot of double die reverses from 1969 to about after 1969. I know there's a 72D. That's pretty nice. Well, a lot of the big, like the 59 Mule, 58 double die, they kind of think that those were kind of inside jobs. I would say that a lot of the mules would have been inside jobs. But that's assumption. I mean, there's no real record of it to prove it one way or the other. You know, Julia, so many people got their love of collecting coins from their grandparents. Mine came from my grandparents. I got a bunch of silver Morgan and Peace dollars from the bank when silver certificates, there was a date, it's like 68 or something. That was the last day you could go to the bank and get Morgan dollars. After that, you had a while to get silver coins. But that's where most of my Morgan that I had when I was young, of course, when I became a teenager, I sold most of those. But they were all circulated. Most of them were 1921. But I wish I had them just for the sake of, still having them. Memories. And that is Tim's coins. Let me bag these up, get them in the box. Come on. There we go. Boy, this thing don't want to go in this. And our next contestant is Kurt Pierce for 10. Oh, that's a memory I wish that I had. Boy, this has a real well-positioned stain right on the base of the 2 that kind of makes it look like it has the tail of what I think is DDO10. All right, Frosty. Urka, welcome. Namaste. Welcome. What's going on? You ready for some cold weather there, Urka? It's weird. Those special mint set coins. Even when you get a regular like 66 graded, a lot of the time it comes back as special mint set for some reason. One of the coins from the non-master doubled dies. But no cameo. Yeah, if I remember right, getting cameo on special mint set coins is tough. Bag mark. Right. Nice if you're a penguin. It's going to be like that here. Now all the memes. It's funny. I haven't heard a peep about falling iguanas in a week because they got tired of saying it. But yet it is still on my weather app that there is a falling iguana warning. I haven't heard them the last day it got cold though. Who did you send it to, Michael? I've not been very fond of grading services capabilities lately, and I'm not sure what is changing with them. Whether it's possible litigation from people or what is happening. Because there's a lot of just weird stuff going on. PCGS, all right. And that might be PCGS's ownership has changed, so it might be something to do with that too. They're with Collectors Universe now. I guess they have been for about 4 or 5 years now. Make sure I got 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. And there's 2 more. All right. There's a lot of bag marks, and it looks like there is some sulfur toning on them. Some are nicer than others, but like those spots right there, that is from the wash. Like that little scuff and the scuff on the forehead is from them floating around in a bag. That right there is from moisture, from storage problems. Yeah, sure can, Michael. My address is eric@coppercoins.com. With slag on the back. Well, most of the dies do fill with slag. That's like these scratches right here are usually to clean slag out of where like the date is, or grease or gunk that collects. Sometimes there's stuff that's deposited on the coins from rolling machines, counting machines, because they have to be lubricated. Unexplored chest. 2 jars of pennies. All right. Nice. Yeah. There are a lot of people that kept wheat cents even back from 59. My grandma would keep them. This I think is 10. It is. Let me count the flips. There's 10. She kept all of her wheat cents. And I think I still actually have them. I think you did, Jim. I think you did. Hope all is going well and that you're starting to feel a little bit better. Losing the ones we love can be tough, and we send our prayers and condolences to you. All right, got to get another drink. Many of you will have packages going out real soon as I sort these out. A lot of them are just waiting on these coins. Anybody got any big plans for the weekend except for staying warm? I know I put a thing on Facebook. What does everybody cook when it gets real cold out? Didn't get as many replies as I thought I would, but I got a lot of good ones. Ah, nice, Namaste. Big pot of chili. You know, I got that 3 times. That was the #1 answer. Was chili and then chicken noodle soup. Wow, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. I'm usually grilling year round. The last week, like I say, and everybody laughs at me because I tell them this has been the most brutal winter that I can remember since I've lived here. It went under freezing twice, and they're talking about the potential to get 1/4 of an inch of snow this weekend. And the last time it snowed was in 1989. Actually, the last time it was freezing was 1989, but it went down to 27 degrees here 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Like I said, I went outside to take my dogs out, and there was literally frost everywhere on everything. Shit on shingles, that's a good one. Biscuits and gravy, shit on shingles. That used to be something my dad would cook all the time. But man, you have a hard time finding that dried beef in the jars now. You got to almost special order it and buy a case when you get it. Yeah, and that was only like 1/4 of an inch, Eric. They're talking about the same thing. And the funny thing is I heard, oh God, it was their little rim cud. I heard way back in the fall that they said the weather pattern was going to be just like 1989, but they were talking about Iowa. They weren't sure about the rest of the country, and now it's like they're sure. Next one up is Taco John, and he's got 10. So let me count out 10 flips. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, a little bit. Not I don't know. There's a lot of people that think it's a catastrophe. I'm not one of those people. I've been expecting a correction. I expected it to correct a week ago, and when I don't think this is a long-term correction either. I think this is just market volatility, margins coming due, people taking profits. I mean, the things that people do. It had to happen because going up $8 to $20 a day is just not sustainable for any market, stock market included. And if you look at the gains in the stock market, all the graphs look very similar. So I'm sure, a matter of fact, I think there was a correction in the stock market at the same time. There's a die clash. I am looking for bar L's, doubling on the 2s, and then class 1 and 2 doubling on the motto. Yeah, most, Eric, that's why I guess when I saw it, everybody's like, oh, what do you think about it? And it's like, well, I kind of knew it was going to happen. Matter of fact, if you listen to Frostbite's broadcast a week ago, we were talking that a correction was inevitable. I think on the Coin Show podcast, they talked about the correction being inevitable. It has to happen. And the thing is a lot of people were really upset about it, but nobody was really buying or selling much anyways. The market was kind of held up with a glut of silver in the aisleways. The only thing that was buying and selling and driving the market was contract silver. I do think you're going to see legislation sometime about futures and precious metals. I think there has to be some accountability of just how much silver they think there is on the planet. So how much can you buy and sell in futures? If there's more paper than there is actual silver, how can you justify selling more paper? And I do know that the COMEX has added where you can say, I want the silver, and then they have so many days to get delivery process to you. I know that a lot of foreign governments have started doing that. I bought a piece of silver. Well, I bought silver coins. I bought quite a few of them at the fun show. But buying like an ounce of silver, I think the last time I did that was about 9 months ago. And it was just something that I was there and the price was right and it struck. I was like, ooh, I like Godzilla. It's a Godzilla silver round. I think I paid $50 for it. So I buy stuff like that, but most of the silver that's in my collection, I literally paid under $5 an ounce for. It's been there since I've had it since I owned my coin business. Somewhere I've got a bunch of old prospectors, Sunshine Mining prospectors, and I think they're 1984s, their first years, I think. Somebody says they're worth money over and above silver. Not sure if that's true or not. And that is it for Taco John. Need to get a new office chair. The cylinder in it keeps collapsing. Next up, dirty water for 10. Yeah, I agree. All right, John Murch, we will talk to you soon, hopefully. And I'm sure somebody will let you know if we find something at this point. That is a gouge. Looked like a struck. It might be a struck through. Let me look. No, that's a gouge. Seen that die with the little ding in it. It's about the 5th time. Ah, that's cool. Olympic set of coins. 2 $5 coins. I haven't looked at the Royal Mint lately. I know I bought some coins from there a couple times. Matter of fact, I bought those in the last year. I bought coins from them. After this coin, I need to take an AFK. I hate to do this to you guys, but I need to. I will be back in 1 minute or so. So just hold tight. Come on, let's go. right, I am back. Oh, get my chair back up. 93%. I'm not sure. I think English coins and Canadian coins from that era were sterling, so it's very possible 925s. Stan Horn, welcome. No goodies. We have found die pairs from the master die, and the non-master doubled die, but no actual doubled dies or die varieties. We did find a couple struck throughs and one small rim cud. That's about it so far, Stan. I had high hopes. We are over an hour into this. That's no wonder I had to go use the restroom. Old age. Definitely no driving cross country for me anymore without stopping. Oh, we found a couple die clashes too. I don't know if I mentioned those. And Dirty Water's last two. I'm going to have to refresh the pile here pretty soon. All right, our next is Ant. He's got 4. We get 4 flip inserts out. See if there's writing on this lead seal. I guess there isn't. Tomorrow I will have at least the 62p roll. I'm going to try and get 2 of them done so I can get back on schedule on everything that I have scheduled. For those that don't know, I had a pool filter blow up on me. And it's kind of time prohibitive on how long the pool can go without a filter before it turns like green jello. And we don't want green jello. And Ant's last coin. A little later die state. Get a bag and bag his up. Green jello shots. Ah, the memories from being in being young, huh? All right, next is Doug. He gets 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to refresh this pile of coins a little bit. Over here. Had to leave. You didn't miss anything, Seth Guy. We have found nothing. We did find a couple die clashes, a rim cud, a couple struck throughs, and that's it. Little machine doubling on that one. This is working out pretty good by packaging them as I go. That way I didn't have to make name tags for every one. One of the later die state coins. We've got our visitor back, so I'm going to go let her back in. Come on, hurry up. Lay down, be a good girl. So far, nothing good. Not unusual. There's that little rim cut right there. That is it for Doug. Get his bag out. Come on, get in there. Next on up, IT. She gets 3. 2, 3. Anybody got any big plans for this weekend? I've asked that earlier, but the crowd may have changed. Any questions I can answer, I'm always do my best to answer them. Hunt pennies and stay warm. There's nothing wrong with that, Dan. That sounds like a great idea. I've actually got a whole $25 box of mixed rolls by my chair, all set up, so when I sit there I can grab a roll and hunt through it. That is IT's. Oh, good. So you got something to do. Are you not getting any at all? Or have they totally cut you off? Or are they letting you buy stuff that the customers bring in? I know my neighbor, she says that right now the next for Shinbone, he gets 10. The Armor Car Service is trying to buy everything they get, and I guess that they're taking care of them for now. Because she had said she thought she had a couple bags for me. And then she said that the Armor Car Service took them. Which is a bummer. There'll be more left. I was kind of depressed that the U.S. Mint has kind of scrubbed their website of anything to do with the Lincoln Cent. It wasn't but a month ago they had a thing on there that they were going to offer rolls and bags, and now there's no mention of it anywhere, so I'm assuming that they're changing their mind. Well, God, with the silver price, the price of copper has been spiking to the point where I think that copper pennies were worth 5 or 6 cents at one point. And I know you can't scrap them, but well, that's basically $3 a roll for scrap coins. Kurt Pierce, welcome. We haven't found anything. Some die clashes, a rim cut. There's another example of it right there. And a couple struck throughs. That's a possibility. You know, it almost seems like, I know that when the pennies started disappearing in boxes, banks were still, like, I was still getting them. And I know that she told me that the Armored Car Service was not delivering any pennies or any half dollars anymore. And I have heard that from other people, that they're having problems getting half dollars now too. And that might be because of a directive by the mint, possibly. You know, they are not for circulation coins, technically. I'm glad to hear it, Kurt. Yeah, I had package. That took a long time to get to you. I mailed that pretty much, I think, a week ago. I will have some more packages going out. They probably will go out Monday. They might go, a couple might go out tomorrow. That's true, and plus there was weather. I know when I did mail on Tuesday, they were saying that there could be a delay because of weather. We are probably about a third of the way through this. This broadcast is going to be a long time. And shin bones, last two. Get another baggie for shin bones coins. Next, gotta put the name tag in there. Been good so far. Next up, Mark Thomas, and he gets 10. Count up 10 flips. The flip. Pardon me. It'll be time to wet the whistle again here pretty quick. Now I got the hiccups. Wonderful. Hiccups me, it does. You don't want to say anything because you don't want to choke. Pull this string out. Got a little bag string in there. That's awesome, Kurt. That is awesome. So they have people bringing them in then. That's cool. I would get all you could get while you can get them. Especially if it's not a big deal as far as money goes. I would buy all I could get right now. Especially at face value. Almost to the point. Yeah. Probably not a bad idea. Probably not a bad idea. I know I told my wife I was going to try and thin my hoard a little bit, and I have sold about 20 coins. Sold 8 rolls also, and I can tell you that I actually felt physical pain when I was packaging the packages, which is so funny. My wife was laughing at me, Chuck's laughing at me, everybody's laughing at me because I got some sort of hoarding disorder. And I don't think it's like hoarding that I need more pennies. It's hoarding that I want to look through them. And I always, like when I look through a bag of, say, 60D, 60P, I always throw them in a junk bag afterwards. I don't tube them back up unless they're like exquisitely beautiful. Well, it's better than not trying. I'm just hoping that I get used to it. My problem is I've actually got so many that if something were to happen to me, it would be a burden on my family. It's that many. It's probably more than most one person coming to look and buy them could deal with. You know what? Most local coin shops don't have any pennies anymore. I was just telling at the beginning, Brad. I had a dealer that used to send me stuff, and it would just show up, and then I would pay him. And the last time he said, "Hey, I got these coins and I got a really great collection. I'm gonna put them up for auction. This auction house." They all went for double retail value. And I was like, I guess, when it slows down, you can just start doing it again, but I'm not dealing with that no more. Next is Evolution. She gets they get 10. I think Brent, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and now even like my local coin shop, I saw that he had 7 boxes of 2009, 2010 coins. He had all of them except for 1 mint, so he had 9 boxes. And I think he was missing 09D LP4. And he's like, "Nah, I don't have them," because he knew that I would want to buy them for dealer bid, and I'm sure he thinks that he's going to get $5 a roll, and he just might. Yeah, and that's the new stuff. The older stuff, which is harder to get, it's just, even though, and the weird thing is like Gray Sheet is where the dealers buy them. Almost all the dealer prices have went down on uncirculated rolls of coins. And you can't touch anything for dealer or for even retail pricing. I mean, even at the fun show, there was a guy selling circulated. Well, he said he didn't know what was in them. Circulated or uncirculated coins. And at the beginning of the show, he wanted $200 a box. That's $8 a roll. Actually, $4 a roll, but it's circulated coins. Now, he did say there's a chance. Ooh, is that a die clash? Yes, got another die clash. Is this the one with the die clash above the date? No. Yeah, Julie, like I say, I'm not one to give you advice because I have a hard time selling it. And the weird part is I was a coin dealer basically for 8 years. And I didn't like it. I did it to support my bad habit. Let me let my dog out. She's getting antsy. My back is starting to get sore from sitting in the chair. I might not make it through this whole thing. I am going to give it my best shot, though. But that's how I accumulated a lot. And then, of course, after COVID, the coin shops weren't open. And I think that's started me getting a lot of coins again, because I got a lot of coins in the mail for about 4 years. Well, you know, the thing is I used to like looking for die varieties, Brad. And I was buying, it was like, well, I can buy and sell these coins. And people were always bringing pennies and nickels, and no coin dealer, no coin shop really ever wanted to buy them. Most of the coin shops, if they bought them, they would pay them face value for them as a convenience. And most didn't even want to do that. So that was kind of my thing, is like, well, I'll buy all your nickels, dimes, and pennies and just pay you the cost for them. And if there's something good, I'll pay up for them. And of course, those were the days when most of the dates of memorials were, except for 86P, 84D, 86D, and I want to say, I'm not sure if it was 79P or 79D. One of those it carried a little bit of a premium. Everything was like 65 cents a roll. So people didn't mind because they didn't think they were losing a bunch. Yeah, it's funny when I go to coin shows. Most people that collect coins, they love silver dollars. And when I go to the dealers, especially the wholesale dealers, they'll say, what do you want to look at? And I always say, anything but dollars. And they always look at me like I'm weird, because I have absolutely no interest in dollars. Yet dollars are one thing that I do too, Seth. I love them all, but I don't actively pursue looking at dollars. Like, I still buy coins on occasion, like if a family member knows somebody trying to liquidate a collection or something like that, I will still do it. But as far as actually owning and operating a business, no interest. The problem that I had is that all I did was buy and sell coins, and I didn't get to look for die varieties. I didn't get to do anything that I wanted to do, which was study Lincoln cents. Let me get another bag for evolution. Nothing, Dirty Water. We got some die clashes. We got a couple of rim cuts and a couple of struck throughs. And that's it. No actual die varieties. Let me wet my whistle here. See how many more packages we got. Flip-wise, it looks... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like about 16. I do not know if I might have to finish this up offline, because I might have to get up and move around. You did go, Dirty Water. I think you might have got a clash. I don't remember. But yours is done. Yeah, more than wiggle time. It's with a back like mine. I should have thought this through a little bit better. There's a little clash. Is this the one with the clash right here? No. I should have thought this through, that I figured I could do this in an hour and a half, 2 hours. But literally, it's 10 rolls. And if I was to do a reveal on 10 rolls, it would take me 5 hours. That's not going to be doable at all. But I'm in it for as long as I can do it. Like I say, I'm looking at the stack of flips and I think I'm half done. Wiggle legs vigorously. Have you gone yet? Well, let me see. No, you have not. But here what we're going to do, we're going to put you next. That way I can try and get everybody that's in the chat done. I'm going to try and get everything done, though, just so you know. But I'm going to try and get everybody that is in the chat complete first, in case I have to bail. No, I kind of like that idea, Michael. Get everybody that's at least in the watching live done. And then my guilt level, while I feel guilty, I won't feel as guilty as if there was somebody waiting to see their coins. I know I did Kurt's. I'm not sure if I did Brad's yet. Did Dirty Waters. There you go. See, everybody wants to see Michael's coins. You'll bet he gets a 72. I'll bet you're right, Dirty Water. I will bet you're right. There's a little, I'm not sure what that is. I don't think it's a clash. I think it's a dent within the die. But there's been at least a dozen of those in this roll. Crying Lincoln. What was the one we found? I think it was a 1971. And we called it the Trails of Tears Lincoln. This design in general kind of looks like he's crying. Ooh, you know, I wore contacts when I was younger, and that happened a couple times. You'd go out drinking and wake up, contacts were still in. I don't know if I would wear contacts now. A little bit of machine doubling. My wife wore some. She's got them still, and by the time she gets home, because she doesn't wear them that much, she is not a happy camper. There's one of the rim cuds. It's a little worn back a little bit. So let me get a bag for Blaine's coins. And we got Michael Ash for 10. Ooh, eye abrasion don't sound good. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Have irrigated it. All right, that's good. And DW would probably know, because I think he actually is in the field of optometry, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know what he does in the field, but that's what she said, DW. Comment is so tacky, but it fits in so many things. Ah, all right. My neighbor was an optician. She moved back to Iowa. There you go. Never even thought of it that way. I get it. I get it. So you're still getting pennies from the bank too, eh, DW? Yeah, yeah. I heard one of the best dad jokes ever. It's just not super family friendly. Maybe I'll tell it on Frostbite's channel. Let him get the hit. Well, um, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. There's been no legislation passed banning the penny or getting rid of the penny yet. And ultimately, anything can happen. Even though I don't suspect it's going to. Uh, Not unless there's a big push in public opinion about pennies. If there was a big push that they thought would affect political issues, the penny would either be gone or back immediately. But the penny's kind of a non-issue compared to all the other stuff that's going on in the world. So I think they will be lucky to have that legislation done within years. Blaine, welcome. There are not trillions, but there are billions. I want to say that they've only manufactured 700 billion pennies since they've been making pennies. I don't think that's right, but I know that they estimate that there's 500 billion pennies left. And like I say, many years there was 20 billion pennies made. And everybody has pennies. That is the actual problem with pennies. The copper penny lasts, so it's not anything like the new penny wears out, so it's not real cost effective to make, but the old pennies last, just like nickels last. You know, you still find 1938, 1939, 1940 nickels in circulation, and they look pretty good. Sure, they probably fell out of circulation for a while, but they're still considered circulating. Yes, that is including. I don't think I have a million. Not quite. And Michael's last coin. Heck, I might make it through this stack after all. I don't think that stack's that... Oh, heck yeah. I got this. Like I say, most people that have seen the pile, I show them the pile, and then they're like, wow, that's not as bad as I expected. And it's like, well, that's only half. Then they're like, oh, no. Because literally, I've got a 14 by 14 office that there's like 2 little aisleways. And it's stacked up. I don't know, probably 2.5, 3 feet tall. Then they're in the hallway. Then they're in the dining room. Then they're in the closets. There is stuff everywhere. Alex gets one. Farm Dog, welcome. No luck. We have found a few rim cuds, a couple die clashes, and a couple of struck throughs, but no double dies. The coins vary from this to pure red. I might actually make it through this whole stack. I was worried that I wasn't going to. Next is Otis. Colorado Coins, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I didn't. Hold on. Oh, it is illegal to melt them for profit from the metal, bullion itself. If you were melting them to make art, because I know my dad used to have a friend, the man's name was Bob Greaves. I'm sure he died years ago. But he was a sculptor that made like Wild West sculptures. And he used to melt pennies down to make them. And my dad, I can remember him saying, "Isn't that illegal?" And he says, "No. You're allowed to melt for artistic expression, or there's a couple reasons that you can melt pennies down, and I'm sure a lot of them have been melted down for those reasons. But you can't take 1,000,000 pennies, melt them down into a block, and take them to a scrap company and sell the block. That is illegal." And there you go, Namaste. That's it. Educational, art. And that is Otis's coins. Oh yes, oh yes. Like I said, there is loopholes, but not loopholes to where you could melt 1,000,000 of them. Nanostacks is next for 4. After these 4s, I gotta wet my whistle again. I'm getting starting to lose my voice. There's one of, you can see part of the clash right there. See, I'm not sure how you get the 5% to make it pure anyways. There has to be a way to do it. No, I was watching a broadcast about stripping gold off of computer chip prongs, and I was shocked how easy it was. I've watched that, I think it's Sri Tips or something, and it is really he makes it look really difficult. And this guy just used elemental iodine, and he made it look real easy. I know borax works for silver and gold. Does it work for copper? I think that's like usually to get like lead and stuff like that out. I'm not sure, but I guess they'd put. I guess it probably would. Oh, I'm sure plenty. I'm sure there's been plenty melted dirty water. But what I am sure of is that the wire company that's making all those copper wires isn't buying pennies and melting them down to make copper wire with. Oh, yes. I know that borax, they use borax, soda ash, and something else to purify the metal out of gold. I watch a channel called Mount Baker Mining and Metals. Next coin, one coin for Southern Coin Hunter, or one lot of coins. Tomorrow I'll be doing a 62p roll for sure, I think. At least that one. I got two scheduled. I might move the one to Sunday. Depends how my back feels after this, because something tells me I'm going to have back problems tonight. Next up, Jim Fletcher for 5. Well, I know like when they're purifying it to get 999, they always use fresh crucibles to absorb. Then they'll put a nail in it or something like that to absorb iron and stuff like that. But it's crazy when you see them mining in these mines. They're actually pulling out a ton of rock to get, 13 grams of gold out of it. Which is crazy that the old timers used to do that. I actually, there was a place, what was it called in Michigan? I want to say that it was called Matt O'Brady's Irish Tavern in the city I lived in. And they made the bar out of 1995 pennies. And they had, it was a bar, probably sat 30 people. And it was all in the clear plastic. And they had 6 pennies with the reverse shown and 3 doubled dies in the bar. And if you had never been there, they would challenge you to find them. Kind of a neat thing. 3. Yeah, they knew there was 3. They were put in on purpose. And there was 6 with the reverse up, and the rest of them had the obverse up. I think a couple of them were rotated, where they put them upside down. It's been a long time. Next up, Sissy for 5. This is one of the coins from that die that has the premature die fatigue. It gets like little specks, like salt specks on the coins. It's not white balanced. Some of the coins are toned. Some of the coins are brighter. I think it depends on where in the bag they were sitting. The ones in the center of the bag are less toned than the ones that were by the canvas. But a lot of the coins are toned. Let me let my little troublemaker in for the 3rd time. Hurry up. Well, you can come too, Pete. You're not a troublemaker. You're a good girl, aren't you? Come on, let me get back my chair. Both my little girls wanted in. And it probably depends on how the coin is sitting on my sanding block that I use. It changes the way the light goes. In silver, that would be a premium. You know, that's so funny. Back when I had was doing a lot of coins, a lot of silver coins, everybody wanted blast white coins. There's still people that want blast white. Don't want any toning on the coins. Me, myself, with Lincoln Cents, I can remember looking through Lincoln Cent rolls, and I'd find a toned coin, and I would throw it in a junk bucket. Like if it was a BU wheat that was toned. And when I would get a couple rolls of them, I'd put them on eBay, and I would always go, what are these people thinking? Buying these coins, and they're paying 3 times what they could buy a BU roll for. And I was thinking to myself, I don't understand what these people are thinking about. Because these coins, in my opinion, were junk coins. And they loved them and bought them and paid good money for them, and I never had anybody complain about them. So it's, yeah, it's weird. Well, machine doubling. I can remember telling Chuck, yeah, my junk bucket and this and that. He goes, you do realize that people love toners. And then I'm looking at people at auctions buying them. At the fun show one year, there was a guy that had artificially toned coins. I mean, flat out said on his sign they were artificially toned and that they were artwork. And they were beautiful. They had colors of blue and pink and orange on them that were just beautiful. Oh, if he's looking at the pile, that camera probably does have white balance issues. It's just a random computer camera, desk camera. Next up, Farm Dog. Thought that might have been one of our die clashes. Oh yeah, always collect what you like. That's one of my mantras, DW. You know, you hear a lot of people say, oh, this is worthless. It's not worth anything. Well, it's not worth anything to them. Like BIEs. I don't collect BIEs. I have a few that I've kept. And I usually keep them when they're EIRs or IIBs, stuff like that. Because they still consider those BIE coins. There used to be a club, and people used to buy and sell and trade them. And then they kind of fell on the wayside of not being anything. And a lot of collectors still think that. But if that's what you like to collect, I mean, I know a collector that collects bubbles on zinc coins. And everybody goes, well, there's so many coins. Yeah, he collects real extreme cases. And he's willing to pay good money for a good example of bubbled zinc. I mean, like, he's got them that basically the whole back corner from the back of the head all the way around is a zinc bubble. The machine double coins, you know, I'm not a collector of them, but I have seen extreme examples of machine doubling. And I've got it somewhere in a box somewhere. I kept it. Well, I must be pulling coins from the back of the desk. Oh, God. I'm going to have to dump more coins. But you're right. And I don't think machine doubling is worth any extra value at all. But if that's what you like, I have no issue with it. I won't... there's one of the rim cuds. See, some of them are like really mushed over. I won't be buying any of them. That's you're not wrong, DW. You're not wrong. Oh, see, I'm pulling coins from the back. I gotta look at what coins are which. I got a pile of coins that were behind my camera here. That was actually a coin I just found out of a roll at the fun show. Actually, Adam Chambers found it. I gave him a roll to search, and he found that coin. Oh, there used to be a club, the BIE club out of Los Angeles. And if you go to Newman Numismatic Portal, he does a talk, and he gets real technical about them, on what they're worth and stuff like that. It's actually a great broadcast to watch. And, you know, Fred Weinberg is into it. So there's a lot of error collectors that are actually into it when he's talking. Chuck Patillo. I'm trying to get all the ones that aren't 10 done. I think everybody else has got 10 now. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. I don't have 80 flips, I don't think. Let's see how many flips I actually have here. There's 10. 10. Too short. Oh, yeah, too short. I think I can fix that. All right. Some used to, but I don't think they do anymore, Dirty Water. I think that's a thing of the past. There's a real mild dye clash right there. Can barely see it. They've polished it pretty much all out. I mean, that's kind of like black beauties. A lot of them used to certify black beauties, and now a lot of them don't. I think ANAC says that it's improper annealing. They don't call them black beauties. And then there's something about another way that they're listed, and there's real no rhyme or reason on why it is changed. Black Beauty Indian head. Never heard of that. That's one of my pet peeves with grading companies, especially PCGS, is that you'll send a nice Indian head in and it will come back questionable color. And then I can remember talking to a guy and he says, there is no way there are still red Indian heads out there not found yet. But they won't say that it's been cleaned. They won't say that it's been artificially colored. They say that it's questionable because they don't know. That to me is you either put that it's been cleaned or whatever, or you don't. You'd grade it normally. You don't put questionable color. I think that's a crock. That to me is basically saying I'm an expert and I don't know. Yeah, like I said, the person I know that collects them, he's got them that basically the whole obverse or reverse is a big gas bubble, and you can't really even see the design. Well, yes and no, Blaine. Here's an interesting thing. I go to the fun show and I go into this dealer and he's got like 3 coins in his let me get some more of these coins out. Like 3 or 4 of these coins in a row, and they say Billy 1965 SMS dime, and then it's graded. And I says, man, what's the deal with the Billy inserts? He says, oh, we just did it as a thing because you can get them, you can pay them to basically make any insert you want now, and they'll make the insert for you. All right, Brad's up next. He gets 10. But it was the funniest thing. It was just like prism lettered Billy as the background. Yeah, exactly. That's what me and Brian Allen were just like, man, we got to check this out. We get what, and then we even asked him. I says, what's the story with this? And he says, yeah, we just wanted to see because they were offering all these, not First Strike, but such and such collection and just different stuff. Do you girls want out again? All right. I know it's boring in here. Come on. Are you going or not? Get in here. Are you coming back in? All right. Now lay down. I ain't got time for this. Ugh. I like ANACs. I do. They still grade by ANA standards. They were actually started by John Albanese, just like PCGS and NGC were. So their origin, their roots are strong. I'll tell you another one that I like is ICG. While they don't command a good premium because nobody likes them, and they do have a reputation for grading what would be called a so-called slider. He knows his coins, the guy that does all the grading for ICG. And so you can rest assured if he says it's authentic, it's authentic. Whereas there are many, many cases where PCGS and NGC authenticate a non-authentic coin, as you've heard on many of Frosty's. The thing with them is they will buy it back at your purchase price or whatever you've got into it. So it's not like, I mean, they are guaranteeing what they do. But just like everything else in this world, we all make mistakes. And they tend to make a lot of them. And I think that is, I mean, we know people that have tried to get jobs in the grading business. And I know that one person, they flat out said during the interview, the person wanted somebody who did not know anything about coins, period. So they wanted to train somebody from the ground up on what they wanted, which is not bad either. But until they're trained, what are they doing? Are you talking about with CAC? I actually like how CAC grades because they kind of went back to the ANA standards again. I do see that he extended the life of the bean. That was only supposed to be temporary until the grading service got off the ground, and people wanted it, so he's kept it. Like everything else, usually if I have a graded coin, it's because I buy it graded. In the last 10 years, I have graded maybe 20 coins. And every one of them basically has a value of $1,000 and up. I get a lot of questions. That's actually, now it used to be, I've got an 82 zinc. That used to be my number one question. One of my number one questions now is, should I grade this coin? And I can't tell you. I actually, one time this year, and it was because I told the person, it was a 1909 SVDB, and I says, I am 99% sure that that's a good coin. But without it in my hand, and with the quality of pictures I have, I can only be so certain. My advice to you would be to send it in and have it graded and see what they say. And that was the last time I told somebody to get a coin graded. Besides that, people send me coins, pictures of 1955p Franklin halves. And I'm like, if you send that one coin in, It's going to cost you $100 to get it graded. After it's all said and done, it's going to cost you $20 to grade it. It's going to cost you $20 to ship it there. It's going to cost you probably $20 or $30 to ship it back to you. So unless you're sending them 50 coins, you're not doing yourself any favors. It is most likely not a good idea to grade your coin. That's like a lot of silver Washington quarters. I can remember, and it's been the same advice for 20 years about grading quarters. Take the grade you think and minus 2 grades. And it's usually that formula is usually pretty accurate. All right, get a bag for Brad's coins. Well, a lot of dealers, well, and it depends on the grading service. Will do bulk grading. So they'll send a whole roll of something in and have it all graded. And they'll say, I want all the coins 66 and up in holders. And I think that's a racket in itself. Because I think that you get a lot of coins. I don't think they spend a lot of time with your coins, and I don't think that they grade them accurately. But grading, their fallback is grading is subjective. What one person thinks is beautiful might not be what another person thinks is beautiful. Next batch for Jackalope. I mean, that's like mine. They auto-renewed my membership, and I had my auto-renew off. And they were like, well, we can give it. I says, no, just leave it. I says, but don't charge it next year. I says, if I need it, I'll renew it. And I probably should keep it. I've had it for 5 years. I was just being cheap trying to save my $50 or whatever it was. An eye appeal is different to every single person, Mike. What one person thinks is the best looking coin in the world, and let's face it, when we grade our own coins, we are partial. It's human nature to think our coin looks better than everybody else's coin. Dimes, that was another good one. Getting high grade dimes. It used to be very hard to get a 67 Roosevelt dime. Now you see it all the time. And that, I think, is another part of the game. It's like racing. Cars got to get faster or people lose interest. Things have to change slightly. Times have to get faster. Speeds have to get faster. And with grading, it's the same way. They have to find better coins because it's like a competition. It's like the playoffs of coin collecting. And if there's no new leaders, everybody will get complacent and just say, we don't need grading companies anymore because the rest of the coins out there are all under 66. All the good ones have been graded already. Just like NFL rules, basically. I actually don't even watch the NFL anymore. I watch baseball, and I watch it because it's something I can watch casually while I do something else. I used to be a big motorsports guy. I don't watch that because they tried to make it into a competition sport. It's not. It's not an athletic sport. Now, I'm not saying that those people aren't athletes that drive, because it's hard to drive that, do the endurance that they have to put out. But it's not like basketball. It's not like football or hockey. It's a different kind of sport. Like I always was I didn't agree with playoffs. Motorsports, there's no need for playoffs. The whole season is playoffs. When you inject playoffs into motorsports, what you get is people coming to watch the last race of the season to see who won. Because it doesn't matter until the last 2 or 3 races. The other 35 or 40 races they have are just filler. Registry set. What registry set were you thinking of working on? I mean, you can put a registry set together, and it doesn't have to be expensive, because unless you have the top pop registry set, and that goes back to what I was saying, they want the competition. But those guys that are battling for top pop registry set, they're spending big money. They're taking coins and they're having them graded 4, 5, 6, 7 times to try to increase the grade. They'll go get a regrade or a reconsideration on the grade. And it just makes me think that it can't be legit. That after the guy does it 6 times, all of a sudden a coin that started out in 65 red is, been upgraded. It's been tried to be upgraded 10, 12 times, and now it's a 67 plus. And the coin, instead of being worth 10 grand, is worth 200 grand. How much money did he spend to get it to 67 plus? A lot of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, or tens of thousands of dollars at a minimum. Well, I know that I had a registry type set of Franklin halves, and it wasn't the number one. It wasn't even in the top 20, but I had everything graded. So I did have a registry at one point where it showed what I had and in what grade. And then what you do is you buy and sell to increase your grades. And that's what a lot of the Lincoln Cent guys do, I think. As you see them, they find one that's better and they buy it, and then they sell their other one. Yeah, those are the ones that spent, however many thousands of dollars on the Omega cents. Oop, get the name tag in there. Next up, Steve A. for 10. I got 30 more flips and 4 more names, so somebody's not going to be in the broadcast. Oh, 20 people are not going to be in the broadcast because I am out of flips, which means I had over I thought I counted 238, but it must have been 258. And I think I came up with 258. They could, and they have tried. The problem is the die pairs are gone. So to make something, they cast it. And of course, when you cast something, it loses definition. Yeah. I do know that there was people that bought multiples of them. Like they're coming up for auction already. And I'm sure it's because people put bids in thinking they weren't going to get them. And they got them. Oh, the black market Omegas. Fortunately, eBay put a stop to that. There was people selling 2026 Omega or 2025 Omega cents, and they were nothing but counter stamped cents. Oh yeah, 65 bucks a piece. I couldn't believe it either, Namaste. And they had sold hundreds of them. Because the people, not knowing, thought they were getting exactly what were one of those 250 coins. Oh yeah. An interesting thing. A matter of fact, I've got to get a picture from Paula. She got a counter stamped 88 with the I think it's a 901 with the FG 80 of an 89, the reverse of an 89. And I think I know the story behind that counter stamp because I heard somebody else that got one of these rolls say that they had a coin in it that was counter stamped. And it was the Armored Car Service. Was Illinois. Let's see. Can I see it from here? Oh darn, I can't. And it was like Illinois Armor. So it had the logo was the state of Illinois. And I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to her to see if that's what the counter stamp is, because somebody else said they got a counter stamp in those rolls. That they must have just counter stamped a few of the coins and then stuck them back into circulation. Yeah. Did you get one, Eric? Was it you? This one come out of a roll that Adam had. And they graded it genuine details damaged. I didn't get any either. I didn't have the right roll. But I want to say that the counter stamp was on an 89D that was from the same armor service that I heard about. It wasn't on an 88. I have got 20 more flips left, so there is going to be two people that I'm going to have to finish up offline or off camera because I've got to make more flip inserts up. That's what I'm saying, Namaste, and it's not just one. It seems to have been in multiple rolls that they were there. I think the actual Armored Car Service did it. All right, Mike, good to see ya. Yeah, it's been 3 hours, so I'm sure everybody's getting tired of listening to me rap. I'm trying to do as many on camera as I can. I got 20 more inserts, and I got... So there's going to be 3 people that I do have to do off a camera. And that's going to be Dan, Mickey, and Frostbite. Look at the pictures you sent me. Let's see if they come through yet. If you sent them to that email address, they might not have came yet. Oh, there it is. The reverse is partially cameoed from what I can see, but I don't think that the obverse has a chance of getting cameo. And that's probably why it didn't get cameo. Yeah, I got, and a matter of fact, 3 people aren't going to get to have theirs because I got to make another page of flip inserts up. So I've got 2 more batches of 10 to go. We found nothing but a few die clashes, a few rim cuds, and a few struck throughs. And my back is telling me, dude, it is time for you to go lay down and relax. That's my opinion. And you know what? It could look different in person. Like I say, pictures most of the time don't do coins justice, or they do the coin too much justice. Rarely is it an accurate, a super accurate. To grade a coin off of a photograph is very difficult. All right, Blaine, it was good to see you. Hope to see you at the reveal tomorrow, 62p for sure. I'm going to try and do the 70S also. But something tells me I'm going to have back problems tomorrow. And I've got to pull a pool filter apart too to try to get a new control unit and drive unit put on it. Hopefully it shows up in the morning. Yeah, that's my point, Mike. Is you get reflections, the toning is different, the exposure is not correct because everything it's seeing reflections and all sorts of stuff. Not sure when the cold weather is supposed to hit everybody. Ours is supposed to start sometime tomorrow and then get colder all the way through till Monday. I got a dog snoring down by me now. Oh, she's not even sleeping and she's snoring. What the heck? Three more for Stan. Oh, we got two more. Thought that was it. Our last contestant at the Price of Right is going to be Carl. And then Mickey, Dan, and Stan, I'm going to have to do off camera. You know, my boxer used to snore. We used to have a boxer. This dog is, here's the one with the little die dot, is half Chihuahua, half Dachshund. And she sure is a character. And then we've got a purebred Dachshund as her sister. And that's got to be the sweetest dog ever. She don't snore. She just wants to touch you. I've never seen an animal so affectionate and trusting. The trust, she had bladder issues when she was young. And even the vet says that I've never seen an animal so trusting. She lets us stick a needle right in her belly to get a urine sample. Doesn't even flinch. I had boxers. I had, let's see, a Great Dane, and they weren't for me. I liked it. It was a great dog. The German short hair was a great dog. Loved that dog. But they need a lot of attention, and when I hurt my back, I was beyond attention. I couldn't give them that much. Then I had boxers. Boxers were cool. Loved them. Matter of fact, Booker was probably, out of all the dogs that have left me, Booker is probably my favorite to date. Me and this little Chiweenie down here have a special sort of bond. When she goes, it's going to be real hard on me, because I have never actually, as my vet put it, once in your lifetime you get a soul dog. And me and this dog just connect. Ever since she was just a little puppy. I've done things for her that I would have probably never done for another dog. Ooh, nice. Our boxer, she was good. She was very obedient. But if you got her riled up, it was hard to turn the brakes on. You had to get aggressive. She was very good at, you had to basically yell stop, and she would stop and come to you. But no other command would work when she got riled up, even though she was good at them when she wasn't riled up. But like if she was running towards somebody and you said stop, she stopped immediately. Oh, they got a lot of juice in them, Dan. Is it okay if I do yours off screen, your 10 coins? I didn't know you were still here, or I would have pushed yours through. I thought you were gone. I am 30 flip inserts short. I printed a page. I thought I printed enough pages, but obviously I'm a page short. Because I should have had 8 left. And I have 8 left, and I'm a page short. Can't believe I've been online 3 hours. I can't believe my backside and my back made it. And I'm glad it did. I don't want to do a bag reveal anytime soon. I do actually have a 60p bag that's just like this from the assay office. Maybe one day, but definitely not for a while. Right? Especially when you paid for a 6-pack. This was something I've never really done before, Mike. And it turned out to be a little bit more than I expected it to be. I should have limited less coins. I think that talking about AKC dogs, I know that the little dachshund I have, the miniature, she's called a lion's mane blonde, long hair. Her parents were some sort of champions out in California. But we adopted her through a rescue, and they don't give you any of that stuff. We volunteer for the rescue. We just know that somebody paid somebody paid $18,000 for her after shipping and all that stuff. think the dog was 8,000. Then moving her around and all this other stuff that had to be done, it was near another 10,000. Yeah, we do the volunteer for the rescue. Matter of fact, both of the dogs we have are rescues. But she was put up for adoption for being vicious, of all things. And when we got her, she was not even 8 weeks old. And you know what dogs are like when they're puppies. When you stick them in your face, they don't just lick your face. They're nipping at your nose. They're nipping at things. And obviously she nipped at somebody. But if you can ask Chuck. There ain't many more dogs. I mean, she's laying here on her back looking at me because she wants me to scratch her belly right now, that are more affectionate and loving than her. They call her at the vet because she had a lot of vet problems the first year. They call her the legend. Oh yeah, and boy, you should see them chase rabbits. They love it. And they are willing to go in cracks that you can't believe that they can fit in. And the later story we ended up getting on her was the person went to visit somebody out there and said, hey, if I ever had a dog, I'd want it to be just like that one. And of course, the person bought her the dog. And supposedly she didn't want a dog. So, oh, that's it with any dog. Dogs are smart. Never trust a person that a dog doesn't like. They're a very good judge of character usually. Yeah, pretty much like my dog Booker, my boxer. She very rarely got growled at people. But the two people I remember her growling at, they were swines for human beings. So, and they knew right off the bat that that person was not good. But we made it. I got to do these 3 offline. And I will print some of those up tonight and do it. But I thank everybody for sitting with me for 3 hours. We made it. And I hope to see everybody for... Let me get the roll out. Where is it? What roll is next? What roll is next? Is this it? This is the next roll. 62p. End coins look really nice. Hopefully they're as nice inside as they are outside. But thank you for joining again. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys and talking and answering any questions you have. And hope to see everybody tomorrow. Don't forget Frostbite's channel. And also, if you are into error and varieties, don't be afraid to join Kaneka. It's really a pretty decent place to hang. And don't forget about Coppercoin's website. The new version will be coming. Matter of fact, we just had a powwow about it yesterday. Anyways, thanks again for joining, and I'll see y'all in the neighborhood. We'll talk to you soon.